at 6, storm watch. Thunderstorms and rain threatening the region for much of the day. Chief Meteorologist Tucker Barnes timing it all out in our hour-by-hour forecast. The battle over data centers heating up again. Critical votes and outcry from communities in Maryland and Virginia. We're live with what residents should know this morning. Hanging up on distractions, a local school system cracking down on screen time with a sweeping bell-to-bell cell phone ban for all students. How the new policy will impact kids in the new school year. Your news at 6 starts now. All right, great to be with you on a Tuesday morning, and a little chance of some weather activity later today. We'll get to that in just a second, but I want to say good morning and thanks for being with us here on Fox 5 and Fox Local.
Yes, we appreciate your time. Good morning, Tuck and Annie Mae.
Good morning, good morning. Yes, maybe storm activity, especially as we get into the afternoon hours, could be on the strong side. So that's what we're focused on early this morning. Not happening at this hour, though. We got cloud cover to kick off your 6 a.m. Numbers here. We are warm and sticky. Ooh, look at that, 75 degrees. Nothing like a 75 start your morning. Very humid day in front of us, mid-80s, and again, some storm activity. We'll get going later this afternoon with a strong cold front that'll come in. Mostly just a cloudy morning, a couple showers out in the mountains, and we've got a few more showers we're focused on near term, but the main event will be this afternoon. And again, we could have some scattered strong thunderstorms. More in 3 minutes and 32 seconds. Annie Mae?
Okay, thank you. We'll take a look here at 6 o'clock. The Tuesday morning commute overview-wise looks like that. We're looking at your crash after Willard Road. That's Virginia 28 in the northbound direction through Chantilly. Left lane and shoulder are blocked as a result. 24 minutes is what you're looking at right now in terms of your delays there from US 29. Steve?
All right, let's get to a Fox 5 News alert, and we'll start the hour with this. In Japan, an earthquake, a pretty big one, 7.1 magnitude, hit overnight. That means there is a tsunami advisory that's been issued for an area about 500 miles southwest of Tokyo. Japan's prime minister posting on X that she has set up a task force to assess damage and prepare for rescue operations if needed. The same area was hit with a deadly earthquake back in 2016. The extent of the damage from this overnight quake is still unclear.
Funeral services begin today for late Senator Lindsey Graham. A ceremony at the Capitol gets underway at 10 this morning, followed by a funeral service at the National Cathedral this afternoon. Services then shift to South Carolina tomorrow. Graham will be honored with a procession and church service in his home state before a private family burial. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky will also attend Senator Graham's funeral. He arrived in the U.S. overnight. Zelensky will also meet with President Trump for the pair's second meeting this month.
Today, the attorney for the bus driver in that deadly I-95 crash in Stafford County is expected to appeal a judge's decision to deny bond. The driver facing involuntary manslaughter for the crash back in May that killed 5 people, including 2 children. Prosecutors say he should stay behind bars because the New York resident is a flight risk.
A kitchen fire at a residential unit of the Watergate Hotel. This all happened just before 12:30 this morning along New Hampshire Avenue Northwest. D.C. Fire and EMS says the fire was on the 6th floor and has since been put out. Firefighters had to ventilate multiple floors due to heavy smoke. 1 person and 1 cat are now displaced. No one was hurt. Today, D.C. regulators will continue to weigh in on a controversial Washington Gas proposal to replace old leaky pipes. Phase 3 of the project is estimated to cost $150 million and would be financed by increasing the gas bills of Washington Gas customers. That plan has led to a lot of pushback from city leaders like D.C. Attorney General Brian Schwab, who calls the project wasteful. He claims this year alone, D.C. residents have seen their bills jump nearly 13%, with more than a third of that driven by this project.
All right, let's get to the latest data center drama, this time from Alexandria, where residents are organizing against a new project and the power plant needed to supply it.
And it comes as other jurisdictions are also pumping the brakes on data center development. Fox 5's Melanie Olich is live in Alexandria this morning with more. Mel, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. So what makes this project here on Edsel Road a little bit different than some of the data centers that are far out west in Loudoun County and Prince William County is that this is really an infill development. Although this data center or project, or we should say this industrial area, was here before many of the communities also had grown up around it, but it's that sort of classic back and forth between residential, commercial, industrial, and how they can all get along. Now, the property property here on Edsel Road is called Plaza 500. Now, this was initially a warehouse distribution center that was built in 1972. It is situated in a designated industrial zone. It's near 495 at the south end, but it borders the Bryn Mawr neighborhood to the west. Developers have already filed their permit to turn it into a data center campus, which local officials have explained the developer here has the right to do. However, the data centers will also need an electric substation to power them, and that's where residents hope that their opposition can perhaps pull the plug on the project. They plan to petition Fairfax County to deny the land use. Over in Montgomery County, the council expected to vote today on a bill that would ban new permits for data centers for the next 18 months. County leaders say it would give the county time to really kind of look at things and set better zoning regulations. Industry representatives warn that would deprive Montgomery County of much needed jobs and economic investment. Several other counties, including Prince George's and Frederick counties, have passed similar laws. Now, back here in Alexandria, there is a meeting tonight where Dominion Energy will brief the local land use board, the local land use commission, on this substation that is going to be needed to power the data centers. And then residents hope, again, to voice their opposition. The planning commission has to weigh in on that project by late September.
All right, Mel, thanks much. It's 6:05 as we take a peek at it's kind of some grayer skies this morning as we get things started.
These clouds rolling in.
Yeah, they are. So maybe not the best view from the Capitol wheel right now. We'll find out about it later from Mr. Barnes, who joins us with a look at what's going to be happening today.
Yeah, and today's a heads-up day that the potential is there for thunderstorm activity, and could be some slow-moving storms and some very local heavy rain, cloud-to-ground lightning. We know at this point in the summer, you have to know the thunderstorm routine, but the threat is there certainly for gusty winds and the rest of it. All right, unsettled Tuesday. We've got to get through today, and then it should improve around here, especially as we get to the end of the week. Thursday and Friday are looking fabulous, but this is the day of the week we got to keep an eye to the sky, especially during the afternoon hours. So it's just morning clouds and very warm, very sticky. I want to start with the stickiness, the humidity way back, and you'll feel it today with temps in the mid-80s, but a very tropical air mass back in place here. And that will be a factor. That's some energy, some juice for some storms later today. All right, nothing major at the moment. A few showers out in the mountains and generally a cloudy morning. What we are going to have is an area of low pressure pass to our north here. You can kind of see it there up in the Great Lakes, and as it does so, it'll swing that cold front up near Chicago down in the region. I think that first batch that's out in West Virginia will mostly fall apart as it crosses our region, but later today as that frontal system drops in to a warm and very moist atmosphere, very sticky, very humid atmosphere, we're likely to see storms fire up. And again, could be slow-moving, locally heavy rain, the rest of it. In fact, we have a flood watch up for northeast Maryland, including Baltimore, parts of Anne Arundel County for later today. I'll show you that coming up. 85, very humid out there, and the storms arrive. I'll time out the storms with you in just a few minutes. All right, before we go to traffic, I want to remind you about the Fox Local app. Download it today. You can watch the shows. You know, Annie Mae's going on a field trip. You can find out where she went. That level of excitement. Yeah, that level of excitement.
I'm confused how you want me to respond to this.
Well, no, you just have to be you. That's your only responsibility. Okay, we got the fan club in action in Fort Washington. Tanya checking in. Nunu wants to wish my grandson Kason a happy 11th-month birthday. A happy 11th month birthday. Let me try that again. There we go. I got it. Okay, happy 11 months. And Tanya, do us a favor. Check back in a month when it's a full year, and we'll really go off for you. But skim in the upper right-hand corner. We love your picture. Very cute picture of the two of you.
That raises the question, do you get to decide what grandkids call you?
No, you have no idea.
Or I guess her grandkid calls her Nunu. That's cute. Do you
Super
get to
cute.
Decide? These
And very
are the
original.
questions, right?
Yeah.
We'll take a look here through Alexandria, 395 in the northbound direction. Following along with a crash before Seminary Road that's moved over to the right shoulder. 22 minutes is what you're looking at right now that you're seeing that back up for a little while. Left lane and shoulder blocked, Virginia 28 northbound in Chantilly. There's a crash going on that's after Willard Road with about 20 minutes in delays from US 29. Moving on to the outer loop of the Beltway, pretty normal here, around 11 minutes or so. It's pretty typical here from 95 across to 270. So a little bit of a yellow zone. And then BW Parkway, both north and southbound should be normal. Southbound, maybe a minute or two increase. Marissa.
All right, Annie Mae, thank you. An investigation continues this morning after the wife of Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy was shot inside of the family's Loudoun County home. The couple's son, 27-year-old Elijah Bieniemy, Bieniemy is now charged in the case. Police say Mia Bieniemy was shot several times Sunday in North Park Drive in Ashburn. At last check, she was in stable condition. Meantime, the motive remains unclear.
Search for suspects continues after a stabbing in a busy Northwest D.C. neighborhood about 5:30 yesterday evening, right in the middle of rush hour. A man found on Connecticut Avenue near Jennifer Street suffering stab wounds. He was conscious, taken to the hospital. Anybody with information is asked to contact police.
7 people without a place to stay now after an early morning 2-alarm fire in Howard County. This all sparked just after 6:30 a.m. yesterday at a townhouse along Legends Way in Ellicott City and spread to another home. The roof of the main building on the fire collapsed during that response. 2 firefighters suffered minor injuries. The cause of the fire is still being investigated.
Also, an update on the war in Iran. President Trump says talks with Iran have been positive, but warns he won't allow negotiations to drag on. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, by the way, in Washington today. Iran expected to be the tops of that agenda. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia condemned the drone attack it blames on Iran-backed groups. And the United Nations says it has documented possible war crimes by Israel in Lebanon. Yesterday, Brent crude fell nearly 9%.
President Trump's approval rating is at or just below 40%, according to several polls out this month. The polls are from CBS, YouGov, Gallup, Emerson College, and CNBC. Half of CBS's polled respondents say gas prices are a financial hardship amid the Iran war. The vast majority of respondents say incomes are not keeping up with inflation. Most say President Trump should focus more on lowering prices and less on imposing tariffs, which are paid by Americans.
All right, in the meantime, coming up in just a few minutes, an update on the dozens of teenagers who were sickened at an academy in Laurel, the symptoms being reported and the possible causes that they've eliminated.
Also ahead this morning, another National Mall water feature needs repairs. The Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool, the seawall around the tidal basin, and Constitution Gardens have all recently undergone work. We'll have details on the newest damage up next.